Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like Nolan Gorman, is going to make a few errors every outing. My name is Nate Heininger, and I am joined by my co-host, Ben Samorka.
What is up, Nate?
Thank you to C70 from the Bird Score. You know him, past guest of the show, for that opening bit. And if you would like to contribute, if you have an idea for the opening bit, you could consider joining the Bird Scored or text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS. Yeah, pretty accurate. I like C70 dropping this one too, because he's usually the one who also corrects us. So I think he likes it a little too much, don't you?
Yeah, he's like he's the type of guy that would like comment on an article because there's like a diction error or a spelling error or something like that.
I'm not.
It's got to be right.
Never look at the comments. Are you a comment guy? Are you going in and looking at comments?
I'll. I hate this question.
So it's a yes.
On the Denver food subreddit, that's where I'm in those comments. Yeah. I'm trying to see what people are saying. Where's the good pizza?
I guess I'm thinking differently.
Outside of that, not.
I guess I think of like a forum post, not exactly as being in the comments. Like if you're on denvertoday.com or something like that, are you scrolling past all the shitty ads to read?
Absolutely not.
To see all the C70s of the world.
Sometimes I will get in the Fangraphs comments, but. Yeah, I guess it's very specific.
I've done that on MLB Trade Rumors sometimes, and I'll be like, okay, what are the haters saying about this? Like, what's the worst possible take on this trade? Let me scroll down to the comments and see what people are saying, and then I'll just do that same take on the podcast and pretend it's mine.
That's very smart. Yeah, I think I'm always curious, especially if there's a Cardinals tinged Fangraphs article to see what other Cardinals fans are thinking about it. Just because I'm curious about, what the general sentiment on the efficacy of starting Ivan Herrera at DH is.
That's a word choice.
Yeah. I don't know. I also hate this question. I don't want to.
It's a boring question. It's not a good question.
It really is. It's so boring. Ask me something exciting. Ask me something way different than what you just asked.
Can you tell anything different about me, Hambone?
You're wearing a short sleeve Henley.
That's not different. That's not different at all.
Are you standing?
I am standing. I'm trying something new.
Wow.
I've been podcasting for 10 years at a standing desk, and I've never done it standing. Look at this range of...
I've been huffing gasoline for 10 long years.
Hey, you never look better. I'm wondering, I got so much more range of movement. That's good for the microphone. That's good for audio, for me to just sort of walk away from it. Is it?
You're not even doing it. You're just actually walking away from the microphone. Yeah. It's not even a bit when you just walk away.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I got to get away from you. The problem, I'm definitely looking down more now. So the camera, if you're watching on YouTube, it's it's not a good view to begin with, but I think an even worse view.
I mean, I'll tell you, just for this visual bit, if you're not watching us on YouTube, then you're only getting half the story.
Yeah. YouTube.com. Then you click on search and type in Talking About Birds, St. Louis. It's probably / Talking About Birds.
Yeah, our SEO is okay except for on YouTube because it's just all.
It's a lot of bird stuff. Yeah.
I also will put on my personal account. I will put on bird videos for the cats sometimes.
It really is gonna mess it up.
So it's really that and Taskmaster is really all we got on YouTube.
I haven't started watching Taskmaster yet, but everyone's talking about it.
Hey, it's in the ether.
International super hit.
Oi.
I think we talked about this in person, but if you could go on any game show, what's your game show of choice?
What's the stupid one with the cases and Howie Mandel?
Oh my God. It's like, what's the deal?
Select your box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sucks. It's all the ladies are holding the briefcases and you're just hoping it doesn't have the high dollar number.
Deal or no deal.
And then
deal or no deal.
Yeah, I wonder.
It seems like the simplest one to win a lot of money by doing almost nothing.
Yeah. What a role for that guy who just like sits up in that room and pretends to be talking on the phone and like making deals, you know?
Oh, it's AI, Nate. Come on now. They're taking
in
our
like
jobs.
1996 or whatever. Do you think there was actually someone up in that little room, or was it like actually making a deal, or it's all just, scripted?
No, I think they have a sheet.
Yeah.
They have a sheet, and it's just a math problem.
Yeah.
And based on the they're trying to give you Also, the show started in 2005.
Whatever. Idiot. That would be a fun one because it requires nothing, and you just hope that you win a bunch of money.
For fun, like to actually enjoy myself. Amazing Race.
Oh,
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm not surviving.
Yeah.
Has anyone died on Amazing Race?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems like a fun thing to do. Like you're just racing across the country or the world.
Well, I know you and I have been.
It's traveling competitively.
We're talking about someday doing a cannonball run. When we
I've been looking at I look at cars like once a week for good cannonball
run. Molly was like, hey, maybe when the girls are in college. So I think got a little bit of normally
we're not gonna die. We're just driving a car
at 120 miles per hour across the entire country.
We're not breaking the record. The record is like the person had an average speed of like 136 miles per hour.
We're not breaking the record, but we would both want to be driving fast the entire time.
Hell yeah.
That's the whole point. I'm reminded of the most baller thing I've ever seen on TV, which is the first guy who ever won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You remember? Oh, you had the lifelines. I remember I watched this live because I really liked that show, and he still had the like phone a friend lifeline still available. And on the $1 million question, he asked to call his dad. And when his dad picked up, he said, hey, Dad, I just wanted to call you to let you know I just won $1 million. The answer is C, or something like that. It was baller as hell, and he was right, and he won. That's
sweet.
Pretty cool. Probably Wheel of Fortune.
That would probably be me on that show.
Yeah, me too. And then they'd like make me host or something. It's probably my path. They just switch. That makes sense. Switch seats. Yeah. I'd probably die on Survivor. I'd probably die on Amazing Race. Probably die on Jeopardy. Probably I don't make it.
Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I don't Naked and Afraid. I don't even show up for. I probably don't make it out of most of these things.
The Real World.
Yeah. Ooh, I already live in the real world. Wake up, sheeple. This is the real world.
All right, I hate this now.
Let's talk about the Cardinals. Hambone, let's just get a vibe check. I just want a vibe check from you before we get into to news and notes. How you feeling right now?
About the St. Louis Cardinals baseball
club?
St.
Louis Cardinals baseball club.
I don't know. Mid to bad, I guess. Like, I feel like there's not. We'll talk about. I think I've highlighted a couple of things that are nice so far in this part of the season, but like what's funny is that this team has just gotten like extremely boring in the second half. Like there's not a lot. I am really scraping and clawing at things to be interested in I feel like we haven't been able to watch a lot of good baseball. Like I'm cheering for performances in the back half of the game by our relievers. Like, is Riley O'Brien going to look good tonight? Yeah. Is he going to locate that curveball, breaking ball thing down? And is he going to get swing and miss on it? And it's like, it's kind of unfun to just be sitting there waiting for like an 8th inning performance, which is ultimately going to be like 10 to 20 pitches, and you're hoping that goes well. Like I'm not excited to watch Palante. I'm not excited to watch Miles Michaelis. McGreevy and Liberatore and Gray, those spark a little bit of joy.
Sure.
Watching Mason win is always fun. He's very good at making baseball fun to watch. But yeah, they haven't been hyper competitive. They've kind of gotten their butts kicked in this early part of the second half. And it feels like we're just kind of limping towards the end. So I'd say the vibe is not great.
Yeah, it is.
I would love a young person to come up. I would love to maybe Nathan Church.
Mm-hmm.
He's excited. He's fast. He's toolsy.
Sure.
There's some fun things going on there. Are we going to get a Quinn Matthews call up? Are we going to get a JJ Weatherholt call up? Are we going to get somebody else called up? I think I just need something to I need a little shot in the arm.
Yeah, I agree. We talked about that a bunch last week. We were projecting a potential. I think we were just kind of wish casting on what would make it more fun right now. And it is really like a JJ or a Quinn. And we got Nathan Church, which is fun. S to your name, of course.
Sure.
It's the name of my foundation, Nathan Church. So glad to see he's up. And yeah, that's fun. And there has been ample opportunity for new guys to be called up because the old IL is starting to pile up a little bit. And I think that's part of where the fun is going, because two of the most fun players on the team, Brendan Donovan and Victor Scott, both having up and down moments this year. We're on the AL.
I mean, I'd throw Nato in.
Yeah.
I'd throw Nato in there too. I mean, he's obviously the offense hasn't been great this year, but he is someone to watch on defense and will provide some level of entertainment on a nightly basis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. They're piling up. So now we've got no Victor Scott. We've got no Brendan Donovan. We've got Nolan Arenado, and Nolan Arenado.
That was better somehow. Somehow you improved.
No. All right. So the Cardinals are at these interesting choices on who do you bring up, who's it worth exposing to the major league level, or is there a chance maybe we can finally get a final answer on a guy or two? And that's where I think the Jose Fermin call up maybe. Like, is this temporary? Is he just our 29th man or whatever and is just going to be that way until he runs out of options and is released finally? Or do you think they give him any sort of real play right now and just maybe get a final answer?
I think that you have to let this guy play. He has had a over 100 WRC plus in any way that he's played, basically. For AAA since 2023, he's been carrying a 149 WRC plus in AAA this year. In his extremely limited baseball playing time in the majors this year, he's a 182 WRC plus. We know what this guy is. We know that he is not a great defender, but he is versatile, and we know that he can hit. The guy's 26 years old. I don't know. Like,
it's funny to be versatile.
It seems highly.
It's funny to be versatile, but also not very good at any of the positions. Like I'll stand over there. Yeah, I can be mediocre everywhere.
Well, I think he's definitely not a shortstop. Yeah. We can all agree on that. I think he could probably get by at second base. I think he could probably get by at second base. I don't think we've seen enough of it in the big leagues to really make a decision on that. But I think I've watched enough of him playing shortstop in spring training and other spot starts to say that I feel pretty confident that he is not our shortstop now or ever. But he can play ball other way. Also, we know he's been playing the outfield. Yeah. Like, I would much rather give Jose Fermin reps generally than ever watch Garrett Hampson play baseball again.
I know. Well, that's a whole other discussion that we haven't really gone back to for a little while. But what is the point of a Garrett Hampson on this team at this point? You could kind of argue, and we did a little bit, why there was a narrow reason for having him when you were a team that was trying to chase a wild card spot. But given the current standings and the overall state of play, that is likely out the door. So what is Hampson doing for you? Especially now that Nathan Church is up. I know we've got Scott on the bench, but why didn't we get Nathan Church a month ago instead of Garrett Hampson? I don't know.
I think the thing with Fermin, it's like you look at his numbers in the minor leagues. Let's just pick on his StatCasty numbers because that's more, or it's less arguable. He hits the ball relatively hard. He had a max exit velocity in minors of about 108. His launch angle is essentially perfect. His average launch angle is about 15 degrees, which we love to see that, don't we, folks?
We're loving it.
He's got a decent amount of hard hit balls. His WOBA in the minor leagues this year, not his ex-WOBA, his actual WOBA is 418. He also makes a shitload of contact. He is walking. This number is shocking to me. I'm just looking at it right now. 15.5% in the minors right now and striking out only 8.5%. In his little cups of coffee that he's had, so it's over 162 major league plate appearances. He has walked 9% and he struck out only 13.5%. I mean, there's not a ton of power in the profile, and maybe this is all nothing, but he's 26. Like I said earlier, like this is the time. Let him play for a while. I think this guy can probably hit in the major leagues. And even if it is your 26th or 25th man on your roster, like this is good. This is good depth. And if you want to replace him with somebody younger or somebody more toolsy, make that decision too. It's really like it all that comes down to like making a choice with your roster and Mozeliak being so afraid of doing so, like so afraid to make a choice with your roster that you would go get a Garrett Hampson and give him legitimate opportunity. Like I'll never understand that part of our front office, at least of this past, 6-7 years of our front office.
Yeah. I think it's like there's that fear of having a guy who it's like your emergency backup guy, your 26th man who can slide into a different spot, and you want it to be someone who's like been somewhat at some point successful at the major league, because you're afraid that if they're thrust into a situation, they're going to have a trash game or whatever. And so you want someone that you have a little bit of trust in. And that like kind of makes sense, I think, on a highly competitive team where you're almost never using these guys and they are simply a break glass situation. Someone's hurt mid game and you need a guy to go out there and play, because your other starting 9 is pretty consistent night over night, or maybe you have like 10 or 11 that you're playing matchups, but like you have the same lineup every single night and you just don't really have to worry about it. So your last guy is just this sort of safe bet that he won't embarrass you. But that's the Cardinals.
But I don't think that's Garrett Hampson, though.
I know. Well, that's there's the selection process is another problem, but I think that's what they're at least going for with a Hampson. I mean, I could be wrong there. Maybe they thought there was an untapped upside there, because that was the argument for Barrero. At least in my mind, Barrero was in that role because there was a belief of some untapped upside and they were going to, see if they could get that in minimum playing time. But Garrett Hampson has had ample MLB exposure, and it kind of is what he is. So I don't think they were bringing him in for ample, for untapped upside. It was just like a guy, I guess. And
Garrett Hampson has over 1,800 plate appearances in Major League Baseball. He has accrued 1 Fangraphs WAR.
Hey, positive.
He is yes, but he is sub replacement.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that. So what is that? An average MLB player per season is about 2 WAR, and
2 WAR over 162. Obviously, he's not playing 162 games. He had his most career games in 2021 with your Colorado Rockies with 147, and he accrued 0.2 WAR during that season. This is not a good baseball player. I'd argue he's not even a Major League Baseball player.
Well, you can't argue that, Hambo. He actively is a Major League Baseball player.
Well, I would argue that the Cardinals have, 10 players in the minor leagues that could accrue more WAR over a shorter amount of time than what he is doing right now. Not to mention that with the St. Louis Cardinals, he has a negative 23 WRC plus. Obviously, extremely limited playing time. That does not make Garrett Hansen. But again, the 26th man on the roster shouldn't really not cause this much pain and anguish. But when I believe you have, I think Jose Fermin has a real hit tool.
Right.
Why not just see if he does or not?
The walk rate alone.
Why not?
I mean, I guess the fear there with Jose Fermin, which is seemingly why he may be perceived as a quad A player, is there is that lack of power. And so he's an empty batting average guy, right? He's going to give you a good plate appearance, but he's going to just single everyone to death would be, I guess, the fear. That certainly still sounds way better than Garrett Hampson.
Garrett Hampson has a career 353 slugging percentage.
Yeah.
His current, his ISO on the entire season is .027. His isolated slugging doesn't even have a 1 to start it.
Yeah, no, I don't get it. We thought he would be off the team by August 1st, and here we are on August 20th, and he's not. Now, I suppose if Scott wasn't hurt, you would argue maybe he would have been let go when Church was called up. But I don't know. Church was called up because Scott is hurt, so maybe it would just still be Scott and Hampson. I mean, tinfoil hat. The Cardinals are not incentivized to win right now. So maybe Mozeliak was just like, sorry, Oli, here's the tools you have. Good luck. And just, doesn't actually want them to win more games right now. Not that maybe the improvement from Garrett Hampson to Nathan Church or Jose Fermin was the missing piece to winning any more games, but yeah, bizarre.
Maybe Fermin could play center. Who knows? I'm looking at his Prospect Savant page, and he has a 68th percentile speed ranking in all of AAA. Maybe we could plop him out in center field.
Plop.
Let's go.
Yeah,
plop him.
Plop. Well, at least I think we're going to see Nolan Gorman at third for a while. For better or worse, I still think for better, though, as was discussed last week and called out in the opening roast. Still seeing some growing pains defensively over there. But we got another update on Arenado. Do you want to run us through that?
Yeah, Nolan Arenado said in a conversation with Katie Wu that he hopes to begin taking swings this Friday, which is nice. That's tomorrow, the day after this show comes out. He is feeling optimistic he'll be able to start a throwing program next week. Wu went on to say that he plans to play this season, though that timetable is still TBD. Pain is going down, definitely getting there. So I think we were kind of speculating is this a real injury? Is this just him taking a break because the season's winding down and the Cardinals are most likely out of the race? It's just the Cardinals forcing more time for Gorman and the youngsters. Seems like it's a real injury. Seems like he's really working through it. And I understand the drive for a player like Nolan Arenado to want to get, even if it's a week of baseball games under his belt before the offseason begins. It makes sense. You want to go in, you want to feel a little bit healthy, finish your season playing, and then have a regular offseason. So those motivations all make sense to me. But I will say the fact that he is going to be on a throwing program and that hasn't started does make me think that we might be talking about 2 weeks of Arenado at the end of the year. Or it seems like this is going to have a long tail and there is no rush, which I don't really have a problem with.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately net. My sense of it is the same, that this is a real injury, but they're taking their sweet ass time bringing him back. And why not?
Yeah.
It's probably the right thing for everyone. It's probably right for him. And it's also right to let Gorman stick at third for a while longer. So, if we get another month of Gorman at third, it might be enough to have some general sense of his long-term capabilities there. Now, I will repeat my point from last week that we have to be really, I think, fair to Gorman and his performance at third base, considering he has been a second baseman for quite a while and has not been playing third for years now, and he wasn't necessarily the most highly touted third base prospect to begin with. So our expectations need to be reasonable. The idea is that, well, he can play third, and that's a great spot to get hopefully 40 bombs out of a guy, you know.
I think that's what it comes down to, is he going to ever be a great second baseman? Is he ever going to be a great third baseman? Probably not. Can he hit 40 bombs? Is it the path for Nolan Gorman being good is the bat, and whether it's at one of those positions, hopefully it's not DH. If it's at first base, all of that is irrelevant. Can he hit 40 bombs, walk enough, and strike out? The lowest amount to be a positive player. I think he can do it. I think he clearly has the power. I think he's gaining the patience. We were talking about the last couple of weeks of him, his willingness to take the ball the other way. I think as that part of his game improves, as he starts walking more, things are only going to get better. But yeah, I'm not so concerned with the defensive play at wherever it is.
Yeah.
I do think we have better second basemen.
Yeah.
And it's a more important position defensively. So it'd be nice if he could slide over to third, but there's still the Nolan Arenado problem. And we're still got a logjam.
Yeah. And then you remember like pretty much all of our exciting prospects are second basemen. And like, there's just a lot of depth there. So I don't know. It'll be if he doesn't absolutely run away with it over this rest of the season, the Cardinals will have an interesting decision to make with him. And I guess we'll see where he go.
What? I think if he doesn't run away with it, or if he doesn't really, if he doesn't convince us all like, oh, wow, this kid can stick at third base and he's doinking left and right, then I think you come into spring training next year and J.J. Weatherholt might be pushing for third base.
Yeah.
J.J. Weatherholt, maybe it makes sense to keep Donnie at second and move JJ to third, or at least, I guess, there's still the Nolan Arenado problem, but it would not surprise me. He's going to be 26 next year if we start looking past Gorman sooner than later.
Yeah, it would be hard to argue that he hasn't gotten his chance if he has a full rest of the season starting in this lineup, between all the different years and this year. He's certainly starting to rack up major league ABs, but we are both very high on him. So I'm not trying to push down, but like, there's just the realistic side of it.
100%. He is walking at over 13% rate right now, which is incredibly exciting for a player. Like that is his path to greatness, is walking and hitting the ball hard. So I'm fully aligned with that. He's also striking out under 30%.
That's a good sign. If you look at his rolling xWOBA right now, he's slumping a little bit over the last few games. And that's always been the thing with him, is we know what the highs look like. We're talking doinks. You know what I mean? But in the lows, it's how long does he stay in these slumps? Can he turn it around? I'm not necessarily even saying he's slumping right now, but he is seeing a reduction. So does that bounce back real quick, or does that turn into what we've seen from him many times before, which becomes a 15-game, 48% strikeout rate situation, and it just tanks all the value he had from the really awesome 3 weeks he had before it? I think we have seen that skill growth that we're looking for, that walk rate and things like that. So the pieces are there. But if this, if this is the start of an actual slump and it carries into September, that might be the JJ call up,
Yeah.
So
I also, like, obviously this is not what we want, but if Nolan Gorman turns into a power bat who starts only against righties and can start at second and third and is more of a role player than a star or even a regular, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I want more than that. And I think he's capable of more than that, but I don't know exactly how he's going to shape out.
Yeah, and I wonder if that is the type of player that you want on your rebuilding team. It's sort of the same thing I've said about Alec Burleson. Like, yeah, he makes a lot of sense under certain roster construction, but when you're an actively developing your players and you're trying to prioritize certain pieces, does a platoon power bat make a lot of sense to be something that you carry on your roster right now when you've got question marks all over the lineup?
I think the easy answer is no.
Right.
But it's also like control is important.
Sure.
And he hasn't even started his ARB yet. So, yeah. But yes, I agree with that.
Started his ARB. Go and get a beef and cheddar. You know what I'm saying? Starting his Arby's.
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, the DeWitts like it.
Yeah, they do.
All right, Ben doesn't like this one.
I hated that. I hated that so much.
He liked the beef joke.
I didn't.
You didn't like the beef joke.
I think you could do better. I guess I'm pushing you to be more.
Thanks, baby. All right. Okay. We and a lot of Cardinal Nation had what a fun convo about the future of is Yachty going to be our new coach? Is Pujols going to be our new coach? Who's it going to be? And of course, the organization, he catches wind of all of this. And we got some actual discussion about Oli from Mozeliak and some other reporting. Do you want to run us through a little bit of that?
Yeah, Mo was asked about Marmol's future with the team, and if he thinks he's done a good enough job to stick around, and what that all looks like. Mo responded with, "I absolutely think."
Did you say responded?
Did I responded with? He did. He is kind of a respondler, though. If you think about it, he kind of responds.
He respondles.
Like, use your diaphragm, Mo. Come on, man.
I like that word.
He said,
respondled. What's the efficacy of respondling?
Yeah, it's evocative. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but you know what it is. You know what a respondle is.
All right, sorry, go on. It's a good word, though.
Mo said, I absolutely think he has. I'm not surprised at all. I know there is always going to be a drumbeat out there because of our history, meaning the Pujolses, the Molinas, that is always going to exist. But when you think of a modern day manager and what they have to deal with, Oli does an exceptional job on that. He's growing into this, better at it. He's well respected by his players and staff. He's in a good spot. I want to keep going. There was also a story in The Athletic. Ken Rosenthal did a pretty interesting deep dive interview with Marmol, which I highly recommend you go read if you have not. But Oli was asked about his relationship with Chaim Bloom, and Oli responded with, I meet with Chaim quite a bit early on from spring training until about the All-Star break. A lot of it was minor league related because I spent a decent amount of time down there from 2007 to 2016 as a player, coach, and manager when the org was in a good spot. From a minor league standpoint, he had questioned anytime he's in town, we have breakfast or lunch. That's been really good. So I bring that up because I thought it was interesting. That's the first time I've really heard Oli Marmol talk about his relationship with Chaim Bloom. And I think obviously that's going to be extremely important to whether or not he's sticking around. And if he is lock and step with Chaim, and the organization is obviously focused on the youth movement and growing those players, and if they're speaking the same language from a player development type, and if yet next year is another development year, I think it's pretty easy to jump to the conclusion that Oli might be here. Yeah. I also think it's worth noting that Oli is the youngest manager in baseball. Oli worked his way up from a player to a coach to a manager really quickly. He speaks the language of the modern GM. He understands player development. We see less of this now. You still see it in some post-game interviews, but a year or two ago, we were talking about how exciting it is to have a manager talking about pitch tunneling, pitch shaping, speak about the game in a more modern way that you and I appreciate, and I think the folks listening to the show might appreciate. So I think while it's easy to bag on him, and it's, once he's your manager, it's not a lot of people like managers,
right.
I guess is really what I'm coming down. And I think it's a huge question mark. And I wouldn't be surprised if Oli sticks around for maybe years after this, because it seems like everything that they're messaging is that he's doing the right thing, and he's doing exactly what you would want a modern manager to do. And we haven't really heard anything of the inverse on background, other than, when he was being a grumpy Gus, in his first full season. But that seems to be gone.
Yeah, I had a couple of thoughts on the way Mozeliak responded, and it was kind of two thoughts.
Ultimately,
like one, of course he's going to say this. Like, unless they were intending on firing him the next day, the Pobo who hired him is going to come out and give full-throated support. Like, that's just how these things work. It's expected, and it's kind of what you want. You don't want your Pobo out there being like, I think he could be doing better, unless it's like very specific, targeted feedback that makes a lot of sense. But when asked generally, how do you think he's doing? Like, you would expect him to be supportive of his guy. And secondly, like, I don't really disagree with him. We talked about it last week. Like, Marmol's been set up for failure for day one in this role, and for what you can measure him on, for what we can tell from his day to day, like, he seems pretty good, or at least not bad. And frankly, to me, that's about all you can ask for from a manager. Like, it's more of a people leader role at this point than like a decision. I mean, he ultimately is. He's the decider, but like he's surrounded by data and people helping him make those decisions. It's like the people management sort of thing that is like, I think, the most important role at this point. He seems fine at that. So I don't know. I go back to what I think I said last week. I don't think he deserves to lose his job. If he does, it's just the way baseball go, and maybe another. A new face with is what the team needs right now, but I don't know. That's all that narrative-y stuff that I don't really. That's like hard to answer. I will say, as a broader, if I can tangent off my own tangent, like, I do think it's interesting that there's been a lot of talk about like protecting the vibe of the team, and like oh well, Ollie's been there, and Donnie and all, and this young core that is like the vibe, the vibe of the team. The team's not winning, so do we need to be that protective of the? It's not. Is it? Maybe it's not a good vibe. Like, it's fun that I'm glad that they are having fun, but maybe it's a bad vibe. Maybe it's the wrong vibe for this team to win. So I guess I'm like less protective or less cutesy about like, well, like, we got to make sure we got Newt in there smiling, because you got to have Newt in there smiling. It's the vibe. You got to have Donnie in there. It's the vibe. But I think they're not winning. So why are we so protective of that vibe?
Vibe is funny, right? Like, what is the clubhouse really like? It's so funny. It's impossible to really know, I think, unless you're in there. And I think even in there, like, it can be different. Like, maybe Nolan Gorman's experience is really good right now for whatever reason. And in that same locker room, maybe Riley O'Brien wants to get out of there. Like, I don't think like you could, it's a one size fits all thing. And then you think about like the Arizona Diamondbacks have been praised for their internal vibe, and Torey Lovello for the past couple of years when they've been really competitive. Obviously, they made a World Series appearance recently, and everything that goes. Anyways, right? That's been happening. We just got a story this week that there's on background. People are talking about how Ketel Marte is a clubhouse diva and this, that, and the other. And well, look, they're 6 games under 500. They're in 4th place in their division. They're probably not going to be in the playoffs unless a miracle happens. And all of a sudden, a story comes out about their best player being a diva in the clubhouse. Winning fixes everything.
The vibes are you winning. That the best vibes are the winning team. It's the same with the manager. The best managers are the ones who are winning. We know that the manager only has so much to do with whether the team is winning. I mean, look at the Cubs. They went out and paid what's his face for the highest paid coach in Craig Counsell in history. And I mean, they're winning, but it's not like, oh wow, that unlocked a whole new way of winning ball games, So I don't know.
I think the manager has a little more importance than just a people manager. I do think there is something to keeping the clubhouse engaged, and I think
that's people manager.
Selling the mission statement of the front.
That's
office.
People manager.
Okay, I guess you could call it whatever you want. But I think the getting the team to getting the players to enact what the front office is doing, and I think like a Craig Counsell, they're going to listen to him because he is well respected. He just has that. So maybe that's all it takes is you get a guy who has buy-in based on his previous role or his standing in the game, because that he'll be able to communicate or people will listen when he speaks. Yeah. So, and I think it sounds like Oli Marmol has that. I also think that like pulling back a little bit, like the Cardinals, like since Yadi and Waino have left, Nolan Arenado, it's been widely reported he's not your traditional leader. Sounds like Brendan Donovan is turning into that. Paul Goldschmidt was also not your traditional leader. There's nobody like Sonny Gray. It's hard for a starting pitcher to be a quote-unquote traditional leader. I don't know if Contreras is that guy or not. I think the makeup of the team is a little bit weird. I also think like a performing superstar would go a long way. We don't really have that. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's a complex situation. I don't think it's purely just the vibes. I think the team just isn't that great right now. I have some fun numbers that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, well let's
about that here very
soon. Get into some performance. We've been high in the sky here for a little bit. So let's talk about on the ground, Hambone. What numbers? Some people call them numbers. What numbers do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about Matt Svanson.
We love a Matt Svanson, don't we?
Because Matt's how did you? I mean, where'd this guy come from?
A trade,
essentially nowhere, right? He came from a trade, and he is over the last month, he has been the best pitcher on your St. Louis Cardinals, which has been very exciting. He has almost a 38% K rate since the start of August. He hasn't given up a single run. He's pitched 12 2/3 innings. He is walking. I just lost my number. He's Nate. He's walking less than 5% of all batters. His expected ERA, his expected FIP, every number. He is looking like one of the best relievers in baseball over this very short amount of time. Now, is this who Matt Svanson is? I don't know. He's a big old boy. The slider is the real deal. He throws hard. He's locating well. It's all really, really looking good right now. But we do need to celebrate Matt Svanson and what he's doing at this moment.
I mean, pretty much it's reliever, super small sample size, of course, but every underlying metric backs it up. I mean, his ERA is a 2.16, expected ERA 2.97. So, they're with that sample size, they're expecting he maybe should have given up one or two more runs than he has, but not much. So it looks great. He's looked good for a while now through the minors and coming up. So it looks to me just like a full breakout of a good reliever. I've said it a million times this year. This is something the Cardinals have shown an ability to do. So I don't know why we wouldn't believe it. Now, is he this good? 38% strikeout rate, incredibly low walk rate. We'll find out. The league will adjust, all of that. But I don't see why we wouldn't believe this. And I'm excited for it. Like we said before the trade deadline, and we've said it afterwards, the bullpen is still good regardless of losing Helsley, Matz, and Maton. And don't know if you've been looking, but Maton and Helsley have both had some struggles out there.
They really have.
So, like, the bullpen isn't.
But Matz has been good.
Yeah, of course.
Which is funny.
Well, that actually is not super surprising to me. The thing with Matz has always been: is he healthy? If yes, he's good. So he's staying healthy. We had someone write into us a little while ago asking if we would do an after season sort of recap on everybody who got traded away and like how they did. So I thought that would be a good segment for the end of the season that we'll do. So thank you, whoever you are that wrote that in. I believe it was through text message, so I don't get any other details other than their phone number, which I'm not going to share. But
dox that person.
Svanson looks good, and we're seeing like what's the hierarchy. Obviously, JoJo is the incumbent as far as like high leverage, but we're already seeing Marmol start to use him because he is left-handed. It's not the most standard thing to have your closer be a left-handed guy, so we're already seeing Marmol use him in lefty heavy high leverage situations, which is sort of the modern smart way to do it. We saw Riley O'Brien. He's been getting some save chances when that lineup makes sense to have JoJo go in the 8th and Riley go in the 9th. Does that mean, JoJo's just going to essentially fall back into his comfort spot of basically being like your top setup man, whether it's the 7th or 8th based off of the relief or the lineup situation, and O'Brien is your new closer? Who's been good in his own right, or Svanson is maybe now.
O'Brien has been really good for like essentially 2 months at this point. Yeah.
So it's a good problem to have. It's like Svanson, JoJo, O'Brien. I would say Leahy, but he's being stretched out. So that, which is we talked about a little bit last week. Interesting. Yeah. But I mean, that's the new back into the bullpen. Alcala's been up, looking okay.
I was just going to bring him up. I think, and it makes a lot of sense. The guy's why he keeps bouncing around. The guy's got a ton of arm talent, and he's only pitched like 3 innings for us. But it looked really good. Even he doesn't know where the fastball is going, but that curveball is legit, and that fastball is hard, and he's big. I don't know. Like I like a lot of what he's bringing. We'll see if it sticks and stays effective.
Yeah. So it's just nice. It's like. Seemingly it has been a seamless transition from the old bullpen to the new one. And what's fun is the Cardinals have a lot of control over all of these guys. If Svanson and O'Brien are what they look like they might be, like they could be a part of this bullpen for years. Now every bullpen arm goes up and down. There's going to be moments of problems, and O'Brien's older, what is he, 30 years old? But for a reliever, for a pitcher at this point, my take on pitchers, like age doesn't really matter. It's just, are you actively pitching right now? If so, like you can be the best pitcher in baseball and be 38 years old. It's just, are you healthy? Like you have a higher risk of being hurt at higher age, but the talent gap, does this make sense what I'm saying? Like there's almost never going to be like a 38-year-old hitter who is also the best hitter in baseball,
Well, there's, with pitching, it's like, we've talked about this. It is like, that's why I kind of think like if you have the stuff, if we can look at the metrics and you're in single A, I almost don't really care. If you have a 80 grade fastball and a 60 grade slider, you probably get major league hitters out. It doesn't really matter your level, your age. Like, there's a reason why Aroldis Chapman, who pretty much has not fallen off at all in like 15 years. Do you see he just got his first injury of his entire career?
No, I mean, I saw he got hurt. I didn't realize it was his you mean like first IL stint?
First IL stint in his career. Check me on that. I was just reading about this before we hopped on. But yeah, it's I understand what you're saying, and I look at Chris Sale. Yeah. Chris Sale is made of glass, but when he is healthy, he is one of, if not, he's a top 5, top 10 pitcher in MLB. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Look at Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton can throw you an amazing start every once in a while. It's just harder for him to be consistent. I think it's more accurate in relievers, but yeah. While you're looking that up, I want to talk about
Aroldis Chapman's first major league injury occurred on March 19, 2014 during a spring training game when he was struck in the face by a line drive hit by Salvador Perez. He was carted off on a stretcher.
Are you Google AI overviewing me right now? Because I will not stand for that.
It's all I use. That's my preferred. I never scroll past the AI overview. You gotta trust it. Gotta trust it first and foremost.
I believe this.
We love our overlords here. They're our gods.
Can I talk about Michael McGreevy, or do you keep on reading the AI overview?
Yeah, you can talk about Michael McGreevy.
Michael McGreevy has also settled in really nicely. He has averaged 6 innings per start over his last 4 starts. His ERA is only 3.75 over that time. He's faced some pretty good competition. Of course, he had that rough start against the Padres, but then he faced the Padres again and bounced back really nicely, faced the Cubbies, and then Colorado and Miami. Obviously, Colorado and Miami are not fantastic, but the fact that he's sticking around, he's still not getting a ton of strikeouts. But I don't know if that's ever going to be a part of his game, but I just think we needed to call out a good 4 starts in a row by our youngest starting pitcher. I think it's highly likely that Michael McGreevy is your 4 or 5, going forward. But that's still super valuable, and the Cardinals need that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He certainly seems to be settling into a back end rotation arm, which is not obviously the most exciting thing, but the Cardinals don't have anybody in their rotation basically for long term, and so you need every spot filled. And he's slotting in to probably be like a high innings count, maybe around a 4 ERA. Maybe you get a couple huge seasons and things break right, and it's more of a mid 3 ERA, and he starts to look like an upper middle part of the rotation guy. Like whatever it is, it's valuable. It's not the most exciting part of your rotation, but when you're building a roster, you need every part of it. And they've got a lot of control over him, and who knows, maybe there's still some upside in there, right? Maybe he continues to develop. He's been pretty good at every single level, and maybe he surprises us all. But at the least, seems like a major league pitcher and one that's going to be around for a long time, and the Cardinals need as much of that as possible.
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman has been on the IL stint twice. Sore left elbow, an IL stint for 11 days, and a rotator cuff soreness for 1 month. So maybe there's something unique about this one that makes it.
Yeah, they lied to me.
But I mean, to be fair, that is not much, especially for a.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Oh, he for sure is. And he is the type of pitcher whose arm normally ends up in the catcher's mitt, at some point. So like the fact that he's been throwing the way he does, as hard as he does for so long, and he's only had a couple injuries is pretty remarkable. I mean, that's part of why he's going to be in a Hall of Famer, right? Like there's so few relievers that get there, and he's getting there with both volume and, elite stuff.
Yeah, and he's having a really nice year this year for the Red Sox, which is annoying. I think we also got to talk about, this came up in the Bird Scored, so I think we got to talk about it. But Pedro Pagés is on a straight-up heater right now. In the month of August, he has a 241, Nate, 241 WRC+. He's arguably one of the best hitters in baseball over this part of the month, over the past 20 days. He's got 3 dingers. He's got a decent number of runs. He's walking more than he's usually walking. He's still striking out almost 32% of the time. This was called out in the Bird Scored, but he has a 600 BABIP right now, batting average on balls in play. So that probably isn't going to stick around. But he's got a WOBA in this month of over 500. So, I think we should just enjoy this. And also, and I don't have any facts or figures to back this up, but it really feels like we just haven't had a guy on a heater like this, like in months. Like, when is the last time a Cardinals player has just been absolutely mashing everything, where it's just it's the balls being hit hard and luck?
Yeah, Burley had a pretty good heater there for a little bit when we went from like, oh no, is Burley going to be on this team in a month, to like, oh yeah, he's actually a pretty competent major league hitter. But coming from Pagés, there's just a vibe. If we go back to vibes, there's a vibe about Pagés heater that is just a ton of fun. You know, I've certainly been enjoying this heater. He seems like a great guy. You just like, when he hits the ball correctly, it go far, and it's a pretty sweet swing. You know, he swings the bat relatively hard. He's got that crazy launch angle, so he hits some nukes that you can just tell right off the bat they're gone. That all said,
I was looking this up the other day. He's got his average swing speed is almost 73. That's pretty high up there. Like, he does swing the shit out of the bat
very hard,
essentially every time. Yeah.
You know, not to be the downer, cold water kind of guy, but like it's almost like a 650 BABIP, right? Like, that is like that is a cartoonishly high BABIP. You know, for a guy like him, I looked it up. His career BABIP is 283, which is about right for him. You know, he's not fast. So he, you know, all of this, it's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, aren't we, folks? But a 650 BABIP is not sustainable. So we'll see how long this lasts. But hey, we like it while it lasts, and not like there's much else going on in the team right now. So good for him.
Yeah, and like, I like Pedro Pagés.
Yeah.
I think Pedro Pagés is a very good framer.
Sure.
I think he's got a really nice arm.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an okay blocker. He could be, you know, he's just not the most athletic guy out there, which limits his kind of ceiling. But I think he's like the hardest working guy on the St. Louis Cardinals, which is inherently charming.
Yeah.
And I think that he will very likely be in conversation for like a manager position in like 10 to 15 years. Like, he's got that written all over him. But he's Pedro, you know, there's just not much else there. You need this guy in the team. He's a perfect backup catcher. I think we were talking about that, and that topic came up as well. But 100% ride the hot streak, and couldn't have happened to him.
Hey, we love it, don't we, folks? Yeah, I think he's going to end up probably playing a relatively large role on the team next year, too, as the catcher position still develops. I mean, there's the open question of Herrera. But he's obviously, I don't think, the long-term solution, but maybe the long-term backup. And it's kind of fun if your long-term backup catcher is like an internal solution that has moments like this that, you know, you can kind of like, it just makes everyone love him, you know, and that's fun. So, in a period of the season that has been relatively devoid of fun, it is nice to have this going on.
Yeah, inarguable. So I wanted to talk about the team kind of at large and why this second half of the season has felt so terrible. The Cardinals in August have stopped walking. They have the 6th lowest team walk rate and the 8th worst strikeout rate. They are striking out as a team almost 24% of the time. Over that same time, the month of August, which, you know, it's only 20 days, it's not the biggest sample of all time, they have the lowest isolated slugging in baseball, a team ISO of 0.115. So they aren't walking, they're striking out, and they're not slugging. The offense is just dead right now. It is, however you slice it, terrible.
Yeah, you said it at the top of this, and I was kind of waiting for this section. Like, this is why the team's not fun right now. They're not walking, so you're never having people on base to even feel like scoring might be coming around the corner. They're not hitting home runs, so scoring never's coming out of nowhere. Like, there's just not anything happening. That is the fun parts of baseball. walks aren't fun, but having guys on base are fun. So you at least feel like, oh, here, do we just need like maybe Willie will rope a double, but no one's on, so it doesn't matter, it's baseball is least fun when your offense is completely dead, and it is right now, partly from the injuries, partly who knows, just it's a long season. Maybe there's a motivation gap right now with everything kind of collapsing. I don't know, but it is not fun.
In between, if you add up Victor Scott, Brendan Donovan, Garrett Hampson, Lars Nootbaar, Thomas Saggese, Nathan Church, all of their walks over the month of August equal the same amount of walks that Jordan Walker has had. 3. Now, obviously, Garrett Hampson and Nathan Church, they're not getting a ton of at-bats. The other guys are. Brendan Donovan's injured. There's, there's caveat. But that is for real.
And Jordan Walker's had a rough 5-game period, and now has had 2 games off in a row. So who knows what that is? Yeah. He had been one of the fun parts, but 5-game slump is whatever. That can happen. Aaron Judge goes on a 5-game slump, like it's whatever. But now he's been out for 2 days, so you don't even have the fun of the like, ooh, we're watching a Jordan Walker at bat, which I find to be very fun most of the time. Yeah. I mean, it's just bad offense, not fun. I don't know if there's much more to say than that. But like it does. We're trying to do a tight ep, so I don't want this conversation. Maybe we save this for another time. But like, what is our realistic window at this point now? If you have an idea, if you're out there listening, and where are we adjusting the window of competition for the St. Louis Cardinals? Let us know. Text or leave us a voicemail, 848-48-BIRDS. When do you see the Cardinals being competitive again? I'd be curious to hear what other people think. Because it's moments like this that make me think we got a longer road to go.
Well, you got to have power. And the Cardinals don't. That's I think the biggest obstacle of the Cardinals being anything. On the year, they are 25th in homers. You got to hit the ball over the wall. They don't do it.
Well, I think we got to wrap up this section. But hey, Pagés hitting the ball over the wall, so that's fun. And we're going to talk about the upcoming series, a little bit of league news, and then play a little game. But before we do that, we want to remind our listeners that this show is listener supported on patreon.com, patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. If you want to support the show and the time and effort that we put into bringing it to you every week, go ahead and hit that up, baby. Patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. There's lots of good stuff in there for everyone, including access to the Bird Score, the private Discord server. We're debating in there. We're dropping links. Ooh, we got links in there. Check it out. We would love to have you there. You could also leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. 5 stars only, not to whoever you are out there who finally dropped us our first ever 1 star. Yeah, I can't believe it took this long, frankly. What stupid bullshit did we talk about for 10 minutes at the top of this episode? And tell your friends and tell your family. Hambone, where else can people find us online?
Yeah, we're on all the social media platforms, Blue Sky, Instagram. We're TikToking. You can listen to this show on Spotify, and you can give us 1 star or 5 stars over there too, if you want to. We'll take it. As we mentioned before, you can watch this show on YouTube if you are one of those kinds of freaks. You can find all of the podcast information, our T-shirts, everything like that at talkingaboutbirds.com. Of course, you can email us, talkaboutbirds@gmail.com. And as always, you can call us and leave a voicemail or send us a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
848-48-BIRDS. All right, Hambone. Wow. After this, the Cardinals head out to, as you note here, the minor league ballpark to play the Rays. Kind of fun. Play the Rays. We've been playing a lot of the same teams over and over. How are you feeling about this series against the Rays?
Well, yeah. Did you see them give up 9 home runs to the Yankees earlier this week?
Yes, I did.
Holy crap. Was that Shane? I think it was Shane Boz that gave up 5. Would you leave your starter on it if he gave up 5 homers? What are you doing?
It's development.
But yeah, they're a funny team, right? They are not hitting at all, but they have good players, up and down. So I think this is one of those series that could go really either way. It is in that ballpark, which is not a real ballpark. It's been a little homer happy this year. But yeah, they're a fine team with a fine pitching staff and a bunch of players who, if things break right, they're really good. Ha-Seong Kim is healthy now, so we'll see him, which is, I think, very fun. Junior Caminero, I think, has been a bit of a story of the year. He's slumping a little bit right now, but this dude thumps. I'm excited to see him. And Victor Scott's speedster buddy, Chandler Simpson, is playing left field and leading off. So it'll be fun to see if Pagés and Pozo can keep him down, or most likely not keep him down, because he is the fastest man in baseball. But it should be an interesting matchup. The Cardinals are going to draw Joe Boyle, who I don't believe we've ever seen. No. He's only been up in the bigs for 1 second.
No, he's new, very highly regarded. He might be good, but he's young, so we'll see.
Then Adrian Hauser, we remember him. And then Ryan Pepio, former Dodgers prospect, who is a very good pitcher, will be on the Sunday game. Worth noting, there is no game on Saturday. So the Cardinals are playing Thursday, Friday, Sunday.
Totally normal schedule.
Yep. Just that's how they drew it up.
I like the Rays. Who doesn't like the Rays? And those are some good pitchers. So this could be a tough series. But it'll be fun to see him.
Pete Fairbanks, isn't he from St. Louis? We got a St. Louis over there.
I think you're right. Everyone go there and boo his ass. Right. Traitor.
Yeah, drag
Traitor.
Him. Yeah, it's definitely how it works.
After that, we got another series against the Pirates. We're deep enough into the season now. We've talked about the Pirates a lot. They don't even have O'Neal Cruz right now, who had been slumping hard leading into that. I guess the exciting news is that the Pirates are promoting Bubba Chandler. He is a high-end pitching prospect. And so if you think of the Pirates as a future competitive team, having a Paul Skeens, a Jared Jones, a Bubba Chandler, this is where they are good. We'll see if he's good out of the gates, but he is one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. So that's exciting. And then Paul Skeens, you see the other day, he gave up 7 hits at a game, and it was his first time ever giving up 7 hits. It's
he's so good.
He's so good.
Is he your Cy Young winner this year? Dude,
with what's happened to Zach Wheeler, which if you didn't see, he might be out for the rest of the season with blood clots, which, we hope he's okay. Maybe. I haven't looked at the race at the top there for a little bit, but he probably is, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's leading in WAR. His ERA is 2.16. He's striking out over 10 per 9. He's walking almost 2 per 9. Doesn't give up home run. I mean, he is him, Skubal, Crochet, Wheeler. They're the
they're
guys,
gonna give
right?
it to Ohtani.
That would be that. Well, yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? The Cardinals are right now. They are set to draw Mitch Keller, Johan Oviedo, Braxton Ashcraft, and Mike Burrows. My guess is that either Ashcraft or Burrows are going to miss a start there. And we will see Bubba Chandler at some point. Johan Oviedo is back from injury, so that'll be fun, I guess, to see our old buddy probably perform decently. Still believe in him, Nate. We'll see. Did you see Tommy Pham get into a bench clearing argument? Was it a night ago, 2 nights ago?
Yeah, he did a bat flip on a walk, and
he bat flipped that walk aggressively, which I appreciated.
Old Tommy Pham.
And then the catcher, Tyler Heineman, said he didn't say anything to him. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe we'll get a John Boy breakdown by the time this episode comes out. But I do find it plausible that Tommy Pham would pimp a walk and then start a fight with somebody who isn't talking back. That just, I believe it. I
love a good agent of chaos in the league. You gotta have a guy just mad at everybody for nothing.
He's an agent of chaos, and he has a degenerative eye issue. What's not to like about Tommy Pham?
Him and I are alike in that way.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's all that we're talking about.
All right, let's hit him with some league news, Hambone. What you got for us?
Yeah, I think the big news is kind of broader 30,000-foot view MLB stuff to this week. Apple has decided to drop MLB, so they'll no longer be their double Friday night baseball, which I'm kind of happy about, starting next year. Looks like NBC/Peacock are going to be picking up those games. It might be a Sunday night game in there as well. I think the big news is that ESPN has bought MLB.TV.
The mouse.
This one worries me a little bit as somebody, Disney. As somebody who is a avid user of MLB.TV, what the hell is this going to mean? I think there's two sides of it. Like ESPN generally is not good at broadcasting sports. Are they going to ruin MLB.TV? Or are they just going to put like the Disney money behind it and maybe even make it better? That would be cool. But my pessimistic side, I'm curious.
I tend to have the same perspective. But we'll see. MLB.TV has been fine. It certainly could be improved, but it also could be way worse. So I'm hopeful that I just keep it the same. I mean, I'm hoping that they improve it because there's certainly room for improvement. But at the very least, maybe they just are just going to keep how it's going, and it won't be a big deal.
Are they going to do like a Lilo and Stitch vision where you can turn all the players into Stitch?
I hope so.
You hope so. The only thing, I feel like this was promised, and honestly, I haven't read about it in a while, so maybe it's in the works or maybe it's already happening. I'm just like in the dark on this. But I remember there being conversations about like an AR, VR, MLB TV type integration where you could essentially put on a VR headset and go sit at third base and watch the game as if you're on the field. I want that.
Same. If I remember correctly, that was a part of like Apple Vision Pro's marketing with MLB. And they did it for like a game or two or something like that. So that might be a little dead right now with Apple pulling.
I want that. Give me, that is the future. I want to go I want to watch a game from the pitcher's mound. Like I want, give me that stuff. Figure that out.
All right. I'm on my way.
And another part of this deal, we are actually, Nate and I were chatting about this earlier today, is that Netflix has nabbed the rights to the Home Run Derby.
All right, I'm like here. Hold on.
I know.
Let me just
do your thing, Nathan.
All right, I'm up on my soapbox here. MLB is so fucking stupid with this over and over and over. What do they get out of this? Probably a few milli a year for this. The Home Run Derby is one of their best marketing tools. They should make this. They should retain the rights themselves. They should broadcast this for free on every single platform that will let them. Have it on your YouTube channel. Have it on the Everything website. Have it on Blue Sky. Do it all everywhere. Pay Netflix to put it on there. Throw it on Disney Plus or whatever. Like, this should be everywhere, and it should be used as a gateway into your sport, not another gate-kept item. Now, Netflix is almost ubiquitous at this point, so like I guess this is an improvement. Maybe there's more people who will see it or will have access to it than did before. So I guess that's fine. But again, I just find this so stupid. The MLB is so bad at understanding its own assets and what people like. And I just don't understand why they just sell this as just another random ass product, like a random Sunday game, and they aren't doing everything they can possibly to make this front and center for everyone.
I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but it's clear. It's just they can't see the forest for the trees. Right. They just want to make that dollar right now. They can't think about selling the game, and they also like the ownership group, like as a as a clump of billionaire morons, they don't care enough. They just want to.
It can't be that much money. It couldn't have been that for.
It won't be
for just the home run derby. Take that, put it into your marketing budget. Consider the home run derby a market. Like, how much do they pay for those Bryan Cranston commercials? Which I thought were pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
That it probably not that much more to produce the home run derby, which is a stadium filled event, so it has profit in and of itself too. Like, make it a marketing effort, and just it's a loss leader or whatever. It's a damn Costco hot dog.
It's a Costco hot dog. Hey, I was gonna say the same thing.
I had another
go for a Costco hot dog right now.
Pizza slice yesterday. So,
God damn. Yeah. I'll tell you what, and this is irrelevant to baseball being on the platform or not. I was looking at I happened to come across my Netflix bill the other day, and it was like $26 and something cents. I'm canceling that shit. Like, what? All of this just sucks. The future state we found ourselves in is a shitty one. But
we canceled Netflix
maybe
9 months ago, and it's been fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'll just steal the home run derby through illegal means.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk. Yeah. A big thing in the baseball conversation, based on a conversation that Rob Manfred had earlier this week, was the realignment of MLB. And I think there are a lot of spicy takes. It seems like, it seems very likely we're heading towards 2 new teams in expansion, Nashville, Portland, Nashville, Salt Lake City, who knows? It looks like Tampa Bay is, that problem is solved with the new ownership group coming in there. The A's problem, MLB is sweeping that under the rug. We're going to get our new teams. A lot of conversations about these new realignments. What are you thinking, Nate, as far as the, the Cardinals lens about, the new NL Midwest, where our new division is something like the Cardinals, Brewers, Cubs, and Reds, or some breakdown. I think it was Cubs like
and White Sox, right? Yeah.
Well, there's a couple. Like the Athletic has released there's a couple of things percolating right now. The one that I like the most was Cardinals, Cubs, Brewers, Reds. Yeah. I think that one makes a lot of sense. I don't like the teams in the same city being in the same division. Yeah. I think that kind of takes away from some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of ambivalent on the whole thing. Like, it's inevitable. The league is expanding. That's fine. More baseball, more opportunity, more players, all that. That's fine. I'm fine with expansion. And with the addition of interleague play, a lot of this matters a lot less. I personally am a little surprised. I thought that we were heading towards just a old school, like 2 league thing without divisions, and it's just going to be like top 6 make the playoffs or something like that. So this going the other way, and maybe there being a whole bunch of 4-team divisions, was pretty surprising to me. But again, this is all speculative. We don't know which or if any of this is true yet. So it is what it is. Every time there's one of these division changes, you're like, oh no, and then it's fine. It's like this baseball has changed the shape of the competition a lot over the years, and you just kind of get used to it. New rivalries are formed. Some are lost. Like, we don't really care about the Cardinals and Astros anymore, which was a big one for us when we were kids, but like, it is what it is now. I don't know. I'm not too precious about it. So some are, and that's fine. If this is something that you really care about as a fan, like, that's cool. I don't have a judgment on that. But for me personally, it doesn't really matter to me how this is all lined up. What I hope is that the playoff structure is fair and makes sense. And that's really all that I'm too worried about.
I will say, if the playoff structure remains the same and 2 teams are added, at least it will be less watered down than what it is right now, just by nature of the league expanding. I will say the only thing I feel strongly about is that I do think that keeping divisions is important, because whether it's artificial or not, I think it does help to develop like a sense of rivalry, a sense of like who's the king of the Midwest. I think that's a lot of fun for fans. And again, even though it can be artificial and also rivalries can expand outside of the divisions, I think it's a good framework.
Sure.
So I'm pro that generally. But yeah, I would say like definitely makes sense. Like I think the current alignment doesn't always make sense, and like teams like the Mariners are punished, and other teams are punished for just their
being far away,
geographical location.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, also like I'm looking forward to a new team in the West, and I'm looking forward to a new team in the East. I think it's great.
Yeah.
All right. Last piece of news I wanted to talk about was, Nate, did you see this?
What?
Did you read about this? Victor Robles
was
suspended 10 games after getting hit by a pitch in a minor league game. He begins to walk towards first base and then chucks his bat at the pitcher, and all hell breaks loose. You may remember Victor Robles getting a nice extension with the Mariners. The Mariners are counting on him coming back and being a productive outfielder for them. Obviously, this delays his comeback tour. But it's an interesting piece of video. It's a nice little artifact that we'll have for the remainder of the year. And you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. We saw Wilson Contreras get really mad for getting hit the other day for his like 19th time in the year, and he broke the bat over his leg, which always seems like way more painful than getting hit by a pitch to me. But just dudes having fun out there, I guess.
Not that Victor Robles couldn't destroy me with one arm tied behind his back. But there's something a lot more intimidating about Wilson Contreras snapping a bat rather than Victor Robles throwing a bat at you.
I agree.
Scary dude. All right, Nate, that's all I got for league news.
Well, Hambone, here at the end of the episode, summer is coming to an end. In the immortal words of Rob Thomas, well, it's a hot one, and I'm ready for it to be over. I love the summer, I really do, but I'm ready for it to be over. So I thought, why don't we speed this up a little bit? Why don't we kick out some summer items? Let's get rid of some of the classic summer items in another edition of You're Out. If you don't remember, the way this game works is I'm going to give you a list of things, and you have to pick one of them that you want to get rid of entirely. This is You're Out Summer Edition. Some of these are baseball related, some of them are not. Are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah. All right. You have to get rid of one of the All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, or the trade deadline.
Ooh, All-Star Game.
Classic.
Easy. Don't have to think about that one.
Yeah, I thought that would be, especially given the two other options. But I'm like, there's we all have our problems with the All-Star Game. We've talked about it a bunch on this show. But I like the existence of an All-Star Game, especially the history of it, So,
right, but in this cockamamie, harebrained scenario that you've
cockamamie harebrained. How dare you Respondle that way?
Obviously, I have to choose one. If the choice is just All-Star Game or no All-Star Game, I'll take the All-Star Game.
Sure.
But in this scenario, obviously, goodbye.
Yeah, I was thinking the trade deadline would be kind of funny though, because imagine if you could just do trades all the way up to September 30th or something like that.
So I didn't think. I thought you were just I guess I didn't really understand what you were taking away. So you're just meaning that a trade can happen at any point. There is no deadline. It goes on forever.
That's how I took it, because if you get rid of the trade deadline, I didn't say you're getting rid of trades. So theoretically, there would just be trades available at all times.
I don't know. As a Cardinals fan, though, that means that a trade would never happen because there would be no date. So they would be like, we're just going to keep letting it roll.
Yeah, I'm going to say never pressed to a decision. Be like, John, there's 1 week you've been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and Ryan Helsley is a free agent in 2 weeks. Well, you never know. There might be a better offer tomorrow.
Yeah. So, that would be a living nightmare.
With this sort of idea, the trades could go all the way into the playoffs. Could you imagine a team just being like, all right, we made the World Series. We are dumping everything. everything for this.
I mean, remember it was a couple of seasons ago where teams they just started DFAing their players.
Yeah, the Angels did
pay.
it. The Angels they went all in at the trade deadline, and then like 2 weeks later DFA'd like all the guys they traded for because it was like expensive. Like Giolito, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, it was probably like 8 or 9 guys or something. It felt like, but I think that would be bad. I like the trade deadline. It's fun.
Yeah. All right. T-shirts, hats, and sunglasses.
T-shirts, hats, sunglasses. You know, I'm a big T-shirt guy, Nate. I'm a huge sunglasses guy.
Yeah.
And I'm a big hat guy. You could see I have a collection of hats sitting in my room. You could see my Bass Pro hat sitting right there if you're watching the YouTube right now.
I thought you were acting as if you like were wearing a bunch of hats for a second. I was like, he's not wearing any hats. I think I think a hat would bounce right off of the stiffness of your hair right now.
I guess I don't know what you're talking
about. It looks
about.
like it's got a sheen.
I woke up like this. So you need to pump your brakes. I like all three. I could not survive without sunglasses, so those are sticking around. And I mean, just the amount I'm wearing T-shirts. I think I have to go T-shirts, sunglasses, and hats are leaving. But what a horrible world that is.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I should be wearing more hats and sunglasses for the eye protection. I've become a hat guy over the last few months. You've seen me wearing hats.
It looks so natural on you. Yeah, it's good. It's a good look.
I look like I should be getting coffee for Steven Spielberg. But I've been doing it because I should be, and trying to do right by myself. But I'm getting rid of T-shirts.
Okay.
Hell yeah, brother. All right.
Yeah, you love a Henley, not technically a T-shirt.
Would this not count as a T-shirt?
I think it's a Henley. Yeah, short sleeve Henley.
Okay. Yeah, I think I could survive. Although 99% of what I wear, I think, is just flat colored T-shirts. But I'd be fine. Reinvest into Henleys. I like the appearance of utility. These buttons, though, they don't do anything.
They don't even unbutton?
I don't think this one. Well, let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure I do it on camera.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it unbuttons. Oh, never mind.
Okay.
That's
incredible. Incredible. Yeah, it's good.
I don't think I've had this shirt for like 14 years. I don't think I've ever unbuttoned it.
I don't know what this
How do you feel about that?
That's amazing.
All right, Hambone. Double headers, rivalry matchups, and interleague play.
I think I would get rid of interleague play. It's so normal now that it doesn't even feel like it's a thing anymore. So
sure,
whatever. Like, who cares? And maybe that would make the World Series feel a little more special, which would be fun. But doubleheaders are great. I love
let's play two.
Let's play two. What's more fun than that?
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have our 7-inning doubleheaders anymore. And I think I was just talking about the efficacy of rivalries earlier in the episode. I think it's great. I think baseball should only encourage rivalries more and more. It's fun to hate the other team, even if it is, fake and manufactured and whatever. I still think it's fun. More of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of this is just manufactured fun, right?
Yeah.
So, I agree. All right. How about barbecuing, playing games in the park with your friends, or going to a baseball game?
Oh. Ooh. Wow. I guess I can play games in my backyard with my friends. So loophole.
Playing games outside is what I meant, I guess. Playing games outside with friends.
Okay.
Let me fix that real quick. Made it a little hard.
I can't get rid of barbecue and I can't get rid of going to baseball games. So unfortunately that's easy for me. I love playing games. Actually, Nate, I just got a bag set. It's a Rockies bag set.
I'm sorry. Are you throwing it into Charlie Blackmon's gaping maw?
I don't know what that means. Oh, no. It's just the It's just the logo, but it was 50% off.
Respondle about the logo.
Yeah. I had a long night last night. Get off my tail.
I did too. I saw the same show you saw a week ago. I went and saw LCD Sound System. I thought I wasn't going to be able to talk today.
I didn't ask.
Yeah, I know. But I thought I'd tell you. I'm pretty good at bags, surprisingly.
Okay.
You wouldn't think I would be. All right.
So humble too.
Yeah.
Idiot.
This one's going to be hard for you. Because you hate all three of them. Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. Ooh, 3 classic summer holidays. One marks the beginning, one marks the end, one smack dab in the middle.
What you're not taking into consideration is that time off, though. I get time off for that. So that's good.
Great.
Labor Day is good for that. And you don't really celebrate Labor Day, which is honestly S tier holiday. You get the day off. I don't really know how you even celebrate it. What do you fire up the barbecue? Is that celebrating it?
You respect the men and women who sacrifice their time and possibly lives to earning us the workers' rights that we've earned, that we benefit from today. Hambone.
Sure.
You do this in solemn silence.
Okay. I don't care anymore. Don't talk to me like that.
You got to pick an answer.
I'll take 1 and 2, and I'll say no to 3.
No more Labor Day. I'm going no 4th of July. All right. Hambone, air conditioning, pools, and cool drinks.
Why'd you do it like that? Air conditioning. Somebody who's been fighting their air conditioning for like half the summer, I'm gonna have to take that. That is hachi mapshi. I'll take AC all day. Cool drinks. I mean, how else can a Budweiser be but ice cold?
Hey.
And pools. I mean, honestly, when's the last time I've even been in a pool? Are you going to pools a lot?
I guess not really. My kids love a good pool, so maybe I interface. Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Yeah, I'm adult.
I don't do that. I guess I got to say no to pools if I'm
okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, one last one for you, Hambone. Walk-up songs, the organist playing songs, or Fredbird dry humping fans. Which one are you getting?
I love the organ at the ballpark. Walk-up songs are rarely fun.
Hot take.
I think rarely, because like if you're going to a Rockies game, it's going to either be a pop country song from 10 years ago that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Or we also have like Britton Doyle. I think of him. He's like a guy that clearly just said like, pick a part of a song I don't care. And it's a Justin Timberlake song for from 20 years ago. It's not even a vocal part. It is just the beat.
Yeah.
So like, I think a lot of times it's bad. Rarely is it good. Charlie Blackmon, that was a good one.
Sure.
Matt Carpenter, that was a good one. Cold Beer on a Friday Night. How can we forget?
That was Matt Holliday, wasn't it? Or was that Matt Carpenter?
I don't know. Our Matts are all, they all blend together. But I would say 9 times out of 10, I don't care about a walk-up song. Maybe like 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, you're right. It felt like a hot take at the beginning, but like I guess maybe if you include like Ryan Helsley's intro,
that's good.
And that's a walk-up song. That's fun.
Yep.
But that almost feels more like, it gets played a lot longer. That's like a whole event,
Right. What was my other option? I'm forgetting now.
Well, obviously it's Fred Bird dry humping a fan.
Oh yeah, I'm taking that all day. I also got Fred Bird sitting right here over my shoulder. He is king. We are him. We all wish to be Fred Bird dry humping somebody. So yeah, +1 to that. Goodbye walk-up songs.
Wow, not the way I expected this to go, but I gotta say I respect it. I'm replacing every option on this entire game with Fred Bird dry humping someone. It's a good move.
That's gonna be the win every time.
All right, well, Hambone, that's gonna do it for this edition of You're Out and this episode of Talking About Birds. So thank you everybody, of course, for being here every week, making it this far into the episode. We will be back next week with yet another episode. Maybe the vibes will be a little bit better On the show? Probably not. But maybe in the game, in baseball. I don't know. We'll find out. Tell your friends. Check out talkingaboutbirds.com for all of our links. And until next week, regardless, let's say go Cardinals.
Go Cards.
Talking out.